So, what if I told you there's a 1,500-year-old blueprint for the perfect day? And I'm not just talking about being productive, I mean a guide for a long, healthy, genuinely meaningful life. Well, today we're going to dive into exactly that, a guide from a foundational Ayurvedic text called the Ashtanga Hridayam. Right from the get-go, this text doesn't just say hello, it opens with this really powerful invocation, and it sets a super clear goal to overcome the diseases that are buried deep inside of us. So this isn't just about feeling a little better. It's about a profound, lasting wellness that starts from the inside out. And that's really the big question we're exploring here. What if this ancient knowledge isn't just some dusty old philosophy, but a practical, step-by-step manual that we can actually look at and use today? Let's find out what that looks like. The whole thing revolves around a concept called Dinacharya. It literally means daily regimen, and the idea behind it is actually pretty simple but incredibly powerful. It says that we're at our healthiest when our own daily rhythm is perfectly in sync with nature's rhythm. You know, the sunrise, the sunset, the whole cycle. So, the perfect day kicks off, you guessed it, at sunrise. But hold on, this isn't about jumping out of bed and immediately checking your phone. No, the first order of business is this really meticulous cleansing ritual. And it starts with something we all do every day, brushing our teeth. Forget your plastic toothbrush and that tube of minty paste. The Astanga Hridayam says to use specific twigs that you chew on the end to make them into bristles. Now, what's so cool about this is the plants they chose. These were not random. Each one was picked for its specific astringent and antimicrobial properties. And this just shows a completely different way of thinking about oral health, doesn't it? The ancient goal was this natural astringent cleanse to really purify the mouth. Today, our focus is often on looks. You know, that foaming feeling, getting our teeth whiter, using all these synthetic tools and chemicals. It's a really fascinating contrast. But the cleansing didn't stop there. Next up was tongue scraping. And get this, look at what the tools were made of. Gold, silver, copper. This wasn't just for show. These metals were actually believed to have their own purifying effects. The amount of intention behind such a simple morning habit is just, well, it's pretty incredible. All right, so the initial cleanse is done. Now the focus shifts to preparing, or as they called it, tuning the body for the day. Think of it like an orchestra tuning its instruments before a performance. It's this multi-step process to awaken and protect all your senses. And the sequence they lay out is so specific. You start with the eyes, applying this special herbal paste. Then you move to the nose with medicated drops, and only then do you get to the rest of the body with oil massage, exercise, and finally a bath. Every single step is designed to prepare you for the next one. Now, one of the absolute cornerstones of this whole routine is something called Abhyanga, the daily oil massage. And let me be clear, this is not a luxury spa treatment. This was seen as a fundamental act of self-care, a way to lubricate your whole body, calm your nervous system, and get your muscles ready for whatever the day throws at you. So you might be wondering, why do it every single day? Well, the text is very, very clear on the payoff. I mean, look at these claimed benefits. It's said to ward off old age, get rid of fatigue, improve your sleep, and strengthen your whole body. It was basically a vital, daily investment in your long-term health. So, after that oil massage, the routine calls for some moderate exercise. That's vyayama, and then a cleansing bath or snana to finish it all off. This whole sequence, from that twig toothbrush all the way to the final bath, is just designed to leave you feeling totally clean, energized, and just present in your own body. But here's where things get really interesting, because according to this text, health is about so much more than your physical body. As the sun gets higher in the sky, the focus of the daily routine actually shifts from physical rituals to your mental and ethical behavior. They called this the noble path. And this is the concept of Satvrata, the code of noble conduct. The text is basically making a pretty radical claim here. You can't be truly healthy if your actions, your words, and even your thoughts are out of whack. Your mental, your ethical, and your physical health are all completely inseparable. And the advice it gives is just, it's profound. I mean, take this. It's one thing to be helpful to people who are helpful to you, but the text says you should be helpful even to your enemies. It's about cultivating an inner state of grace that doesn't depend on how other people are treating you. And then there's this, which is all about emotional resilience. The goal is to keep that mental balance, that sense of calm, whether you're in the middle of a huge success or a total disaster. True health, it suggests, is being the calm center of your own storm. You know, it also has some incredibly practical social advice, like this little gem. It's telling you to find a middle path. Don't be naive and believe everyone, but don't be paranoid and suspect everyone either. It's all about cultivating good judgment. I mean, that's just timeless wisdom, right? So as the day starts to come to a close, the regimen shifts again. Now, the entire focus is on winding down, preparing your body and your mind for rest, and making sure you have a peaceful transition into the night. This is pretty fascinating. The text actually gives a list of places to avoid sleeping. Some of them seem practical, like crossroads, but others, like graveyards or slaughterhouses, point to this idea of avoiding places with negative or disruptive energy so you can have a truly restful environment. And that brings us to the final piece, sleep, or nidra. And it's not seen as just passive downtime. The Astanga Hridayam actually calls sleep a fundamental supporter of life, putting it right up there with food. It's during sleep that your body actually heals, your organs get nourished, and you lay the foundation for a long, healthy life. Look, let's be real. Following this entire 1,500-year-old routine is a massive commitment, maybe an impossible one for most of us. But maybe that's not the point. The real question is, when you look at this whole intricate blueprint, from the way you wake up, to how you act, to how you sleep, what's the one principle? What's one single idea you could take from this to bring just a little more of that ancient balance into your very modern life?